Hello everyone, welcome to the new unit. I am starting a new playlist of Solid State Physics 1. The unit 1 consists of crystallography. Unit 2 will be like something with to do with free electron model and how we get the band theory of solids and all. And the third unit will be little bit higher advanced condensed matter. So welcome to the new playlist and I am Sejal Lotlikar. Let's start. So one basic question that we have in our mind is that why do we need to study solid state physics? Why? I mean, see, the reason why I am interested in solid state physics is that almost everything in nature is mostly solid. So, as you can see here, the house, the everything, whatever you see in your day-to-day life, even the gadgets that you use are all solid. So, it's very important to understand how solid behaves and what are its properties, so that if you can engineer the properties of a solid in a very smart way, you can change the world. Alright, so the basic difference between condensed matter and solid state physics we all should know. Because many people I heard, like they just name solid state branch as condensed matter and like there's a basic difference. Condensed matter consists of solid, liquid as well as gases, but gases are not considered as condensed because they are not able to get condensed. So, but liquid does. So, liquid is a state of condensed matter. Solid is, and we there's a link between all these things, and we can go from one state to another from through phase transition. And there are many other processes. Alright, so crystal structures. Uh, Before we go to crystal structures, let's go to the origin of the solids. So we go to matter. Matter consists of solid, liquids, and gases. So matters, as we know, is crystalline and amorphous. So we know what are crystalline solids. Crystalline solids are like periodic arrangement of the atoms. If you go to the nano level, if you go to the microscopic structure of a solid, you get like all the atoms are periodically arranged. So that kind of structure is what we call it as a crystalline solid. Amorphous, on the other hand, is like it's the arrangement of atoms in a microscopic structure is not periodic. So it's like I can explain, if I have a container and it is like if I have a container and if I have like many solid particles, like they are not periodically arranged, so that kind of structure is what we call it as like amorphous. But if the solid has some periodicity, like the atoms are periodically arranged, so that we call it as a crystalline solid. I hope you all understand about this. Yes. Alright. So, common few examples of crystalline solid and amorphous solids are like crystalline is NaCl, like sodium chloride, like cesium chloride, even gold is crystalline. There are many such materials which are crystalline, and there are materials which are amorphous. It was very shocking for you all to know that glass is a amorphous solid, but glass has the properties similar to a liquid. Like at a certain transition point, glass can also flow, but it takes millions of years for a glass to flow. And under crystalline solids, we have two different classifications, that is single crystalline and polycrystalline. So single crystalline is what we are going to look in our course, but not all the solids are single crystalline. Many of them are like polycrystalline. Polycrystalline is like many crystalline structures joined together. So lattice plus basis gives us the crystal structure. So we will go now to see what is lattice, what are bases, and how do we get a crystal structure. Let's see that. Okay, what is Bravais lattice? Lattice is a periodic arrangement of points in space. You know how these Rangoli patterns are? They are like, I can show you few type of them. Like these are like kind of the Rangoli patterns. So these are like a lattice points. They are like just a mathematical concept. They are like periodic arrangement of points in a space. Bravais lattice are a special configuration into which the atoms can be arranged. So this kind of periodic arrangement of points in space is Bravais lattice. So Bravais lattice are special configuration into which the atoms can be arranged. In 2D we have 5 different Bravais lattices possible, and in 3D we have 14 different configuration of Bravais lattices possible. Here we go. Here these are the 2D Bravais lattices. So I have mentioned them here. This is square lattice, rectangular, parallelogram lattice, center rectangular, and hexagonal. I will name each of them by pointing out here. See here, this image E is a square lattice. How do we know this is a square lattice? The reason is because A1 is equal to A2 and the angle between the lattice translational vectors is 90 degrees. So if the theta is 90 degree and A1 is equal to A2, then we say it's a square lattice. Then we have next is rectangular lattice. Rectangular lattice is like the angle is 90 degrees but the vectors A1 and A2 are not equal. So A1 is not equal to A2 and theta is equal to 90 degrees. That we call it as a rectangular lattice. Next we go to parallelogram lattice. So parallelogram lattice is like A1 is not equal to A2. Also the angle between the A1 and A2 primitive vectors, that is also not equal to 90 degrees. That we like, it looks like a parallelogram, hence it is called as parallelogram lattice. Next we have centered rectangular. A centered rectangular is like if we join these vectors, it is like a parallelogram, but there's a if we like join these vectors A1 and A2, there's a lattice point here. So centered rectangular is not a primitive lattice. Okay, we will come to what is primitive lattice and what is not, but the point here to mention is that here this is a special kind of parallelogram lattice, that is centered rectangular. Not all parallelogram lattices are centered rectangular, but all centered rectangular lattices are parallelogram lattices. So this is a point to be noted. Next we go to hexagonal lattice. Hexagonal lattice is like a triangular lattice. Triangular lattice is like one point is there and like these are three different, it forms like a equilateral triangle and the angle between each is like 60 degrees, but overall if we join all the points around it, then it forms like a hexagon. But hexagonal lattice is not a primitive lattice. That is also to be noted. So we go next here. Next we go to exercise. So exercise is for you all. Identify if the following Bravais lattice is a Bravais lattice or a not. So I can give you hint. The hint is just look at one point. Just take one point and look at its neighbors. Okay, I have marked this by mistake here. You can mark it here and check if its neighborhood is looking similar or not. If it is similar, then it's a Bravais lattice. If it is not, then it is not a Bravais lattice. So you can pause the video, think about it, what it will be, and you can comment me in the comment section. Here is a second exercise. Is this a Bravais lattice or not? The way to identify if a particular crystal structure is a Bravais lattice or not is to look at a particular atom and to identify if its neighborhood is the same. Like if I mark this and here this distance is lesser, this distance is more, that doesn't mean this is a Bravais lattice. It should have all the atoms having equal distance around it. But if I consider these two atoms together and this considering as this as a one lattice point, it is having a similar environment. For example, if I mark this here, this like if I mark first atom of this one and first atom of this one, like these are having like a similar structure. This pattern is getting repeated. So whichever pattern is getting repeated, you should note that. So like I can give you a hint. This is like a Bravais lattice with two atom bases. This I can group them as a two atom basis. This is like a 2D lattice. Alright. So let's go to the next. Here also just to try to see what kind of Bravais lattice is this. Uh, if I can mention like this, I will give you a hint. You all can mark this two together and try to see what kind of pattern is repeating in this kind of Bravais lattice, and you all can let me know what kind of Bravais lattice does it form. And this one, this is another exercise. All of this you all can comment me in the comment section, or maybe you can email me personally. Alright, so let's go to the next concept. What is primitive lattice? A primitive lattice consists of only one lattice point per unit cell. So, one lattice point per unit cell. So I have marked here. Here you can see like 4 atoms joined and there's no other lattice point here. So it is like one. There are 4 lattice points and each contributes to 1/4. So 4 into 1/4, that forms like a 1 lattice point per unit cell. Whereas here this is a non-primitive unit cell, like it's like a centered rectangular, whereas there is another lattice point. So this is a non-primitive unit cell, but not necessary atoms. Atoms like we can have 2 or 3 atoms here. These atoms are like bases. Lattice points are like the points, and attaching lattice to the like atoms to the bases, atoms to the lattice points forms the crystal structure. Wigner-Seitz primitive unit cell. Wigner-Seitz is like it's a locus of points in space that are close to that of the lattice point than to any of the other lattice points. So it's like I can show you before reading all these things. I will show you what is like a Wigner-Seitz. So if I have periodic arrangement of atoms in space, this is like a 2D square lattice. What I will do is I will try to join its neighbors, the nearest neighbors. Okay, so if I try to join its nearest neighbors, I'm getting this kind of pattern you all can see here. But then what I will do is I will take a perpendicular bisector through all of these vectors. Okay, so if I take a perpendicular bisector, and if I bisect them, this is the area that is the smallest for that particular crystal structure. So this I have marked shaded in gray. So this is the Wigner-Seitz primitive unit cell. This kind of construction ensures that there is only one lattice point per unit cell, unlike how we do it in we just enclose the cell and then we say this is the primitive. We can do this kind of construction and ensure that this is the primitive unit cell. So here I have put another construction, like see, you have to take this point and mark all its nearest neighbors. Then you have to take a perpendicular bisector, and taking perpendicular bisector, then you have to shade the area which is enclosed. The smallest area enclosed is known as the Wigner seeds. Okay, so next, let's go to the next slide. Now let's see the Bravelet. Okay, let's go to the previous one and understand what I have written here. It can be shown mathematically that Wigner-Seed cell is a primitive cell spanning the entire direct space without leaving any gaps or holes. Wigner-Seed cell in the reciprocal space is also known as the first Brillouin zone. Yeah, because it is the smallest area enclosed, and it is made by drawing planes normal to the segments joining the nearest lattice points to a particular lattice point through the midpoints of such segments. Bravais lattice in 3D. So Bravais lattices, in previous slides we saw the Bravais lattices in the 2D structure. Now let's see the Bravais lattice in 3D. In 3D, there are 7 crystal systems and 14 Bravais lattices. So, these are the 7 crystal structures, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are cubic, trigonal, tetragonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, triclinic, hexagonal. And these are the different kind of structures. I think you might have come across this kind of structures. If not, then these are the different structures that we can construct in a 3D space. Now let's see what is simple cubic, BCC and FCC. So the most simplest amongst the 3D structures is the cubic structure, and amongst the cubic structures the most simple one is known as the simple cubic structure. So the simple cubic structure has the has one atom at every corner of its unit cell, and its lattice translational vectors are A1 equal to AX cap, A2 equal to AY cap, and A3 equal to AZ cap. So it's like I have one atom. If I have 0, 0, 0 at the origin, if I mark this atom as 0, 0, 0, then I can say this is like AX cap, this says AY cap, and this my AZ cap. And these are the primitive lattice vectors. And number of lattice points per unit cell is 8. There are 8 different points into 1/8 from each of the corner of the unit cell. So that gives us 1. So the number of lattice points per unit cell is 1 for simple cubic cell. Now let's go to BCC. In BCC, the lattice translational vectors are A1 is equal to AX cap plus Y cap minus Z cap, and there is a half factor of half. I will show you how this vectors comes in the next slide, but you all can look at the structure here. There are 8 different at every corner there is one atom and one lattice point, and you can see there's another lattice point at the body center of the unit cell. But this is not a primitive cell, because if I consider this is like 8 into 1 by 8 plus 1. So that is like there are two lattice point per unit cell. Hence, this is not a primitive unit cell. Hence, we have a different structure for this kind of BCC, and that is the primitive unit cell of BCC is this. You all can see here the lattice vectors are joined here 1, 2 and 3. So we can see A1, A2 and A3, and these are the vectors associated with that primitive unit cell. So A1 equal to half A x cap plus y cap minus z cap, A2 equal to half A minus x cap plus y cap plus z cap, and A3 equal to half A x cap minus y cap plus z cap. So these are the lattice translational vectors of a body-centered cubic cell. And this is the structure. And this, the one which is marked in the dark black color, this is the primitive unit cell, because this contains only one lattice point per unit cell. Now let's see the face-centered cubic cell. In face-centered cubic cell, as you can see here, there is one atom. There are 8 atoms at every corner of the unit cell, plus there is one atom at every face center. So these pink color atoms are at the face center of the unit cell, and the lattice transitional vectors are A1 equal to Ax cap plus y cap, A2 equal to A y cap plus z cap, and A3 equal to A z cap plus x cap. So these are the lattice translational vectors. And as we saw in the case of BCC, this is the primitive unit cell of FCC. So the A1, A2, A3, what I showed you in the previous slide, they are these vectors: A1 x cap plus y cap, A1 y cap plus z cap, A1 x cap plus z cap. And this is a primitive unit cell of FCC, because this contains one atom, one lattice point per unit cell. Not like this is not a primitive unit cell. But why are we considering this kind of structure in our day-to-day life is for the simplicity. It is very difficult for us to visualize this kind of structure. Hence, we go for this kind of structure in order to visualize any kind of crystal structures. Now let's see the comparison between simple cubic, BCC and FCC. So the main thing that we see is the volume of a conventional cell is A cube and A cube for all three structures. Okay. Now let's see the lattice point per unit cell. If we see conventional cell, it has one lattice point per unit cell. For BCC, we have 2 lattice point per unit cell. For FCC, we have 4 lattice point per unit cell. Do you want to know how do we get 4? Okay, so it is like 8 into 1 by 8 plus there are 6 sides, and every side gives you contribution of half. So it is 1 plus 3. This gives us 4. So total 4 lattice points per unit cell in a conventional cell. But if we see a primitive unit cell, it contains only 1 lattice point per unit cell. Volume of a primitive cell. So as I was mentioning those structures that I showed you for BCC and FCC, the simple cubic has the same structure as this primitive. BCC has A cube by 2, FCC has A cube by 4. Lattice point per unit volume is like 1 by A cube, 2 by A cube and 4 by A cube. Number of nearest neighbors are, there are 6 nearest neighbor per unit cell for a simple cubic. I can show you here. If I just ignore these body centers, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 at the sides, plus 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above and below. So these are the nearest neighbor, the coordination number. And for BCC we have 8, we can see here. If I mark this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 all around, and 5, 6, 7, and there is 8th one. 8th one is behind, I guess. Yes. No. Okay. Wait a second. If I consider this one, it is more complicated. I can rather consider this, and I can consider its nearest neighbor as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the 8 nearest neighbors of a BCC. And then we have number of nearest neighbors, number of nearest neighbor distance, that is A for a simple cubic. Then root 3 A by 2 for BCC, and A by root 2 for FCC. Then number of second nearest neighbors are 12, 6 and 6 for the structures. Then packing fraction. Now packing fraction is given by number of atom, the volume occupied by the atoms divided by the volume of the total unit cell. So for simple cubic, as we can see, here, if we consider the two atoms which are close to each other, so we can see that between the two atoms there's a between the two atoms, this A is equal to 2R. And then we can then say that 2R is equal to A, and from that the volume of this is A cube, and from this relations we can get the distance as the packing fraction as the volume occupied by each of the unit cell divided by the the volume occupied by every atom in the unit cell divided by the total volume of the unit cell. In similar case, we get it for BCC and FCC. If you all want me to explain this part, I can explain in a better way, but I can do it in the next video as well. Thank you all, and see you all in the next part. Just let me know if you all want this clarity on this concept, like how are we getting all these things. Then let me know in the comment section. I will make a separate video out of that. Thank you so much, and see you all in the part 2.